Come sit. What does life look like after narcissistic abuse? Here's what I've been struggling with. Take what works for you, leave the rest. I have left the situation. I was not in a relationship with a narcissist. My step-parent was a narcissist. And I can remember when I was in it, saying to myself, once I'm out, I will make my life everything that I want it to be. I have no control and I have no power right now, but it will not forever be like that. I didn't realize how hard it was to create that change after the abuse. Physically, I have exited the situation a long time ago, but emotionally, he lives in my head. And I almost hate to say that on here because God forbid one day he finds my videos and he sees this and gets the satisfaction to know that this is still something I'm struggling with. Like, I don't want to give him that satisfaction, but that's reality. So if you feel like you were in a relationship with a narcissist, your parents, you feel like you were abused or belittled, maybe I'm going to trigger some people just by using the word narcissist. Fine. You can, whatever you want to call it. Why is this so hard to move emotionally out of this trap? Why is it so hard to change our lives? This type of abuse, this type of control is fueled by creating within you self-loathing and guilt. It makes your inner critic very loud. It makes you feel literally worthless. It's the body shaming. Everything makes you feel not good enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough. Nothing you ever do is right. And when you're in it, it is so real. You internalize what this other person is saying about you. And their conversation of tearing you down becomes your conversation. And years upon years, whether it's a relationship or a parent, think about how hard as a parent, growing up in your formative years, that this is the inner dialogue that you are being programmed with. Of course it's hard. Of course you're struggling. Of course it takes time. Narcissists self-regulate by being in control. And their controlling nature makes you hypersensitive. I can remember, like if someone even called my name, and this is something that I have worked out of, like if somebody scares me or jumps out of somewhere, I'm very jumpy, pretty normal, right? Like the first 3 years of exiting this situation, someone would call my name and I would jump. Like I was very on edge. Talk about walking on eggshells. I feel like that's what I did my entire life. Some of the effects of dealing with this: headaches, body aches, having trouble sleeping, stomach aches. That is something that affected me. I can remember, I think I was in high school and I went to a gastroenterologist because I was having such bad stomach issues. I thought I had IBS. I thought something was wrong. I was allergic to something. Like it was intense. And he had me do all of these things to try and figure out like what was going on. The thing he said to me when I left, there's nothing physically wrong with you. You need to go see a psychologist. And I looked at him like, what? But now, as I'm older, makes a whole lot of sense. It was stress. It was fear, it was worry, and it all manifested in my gut. A lot of us who have experienced this kind of abuse easily fall into the caretaker role. Your relationships, you are always in the role of trying to fix the other person. We can't fix people, guys. It's us that needs our own attention. And we are so used to placing our attention on everyone else because that's how we kept ourselves safe. If we tracked everyone, the situation, if we tracked our environment, if we tracked what was going on constantly, that's how we kept ourselves safe. We became a chameleon for the environment around us because that is how we stayed safe. We stayed under the radar. At least this was for me. I definitely wasn't the rule breaker. I cried a lot. I was very quiet. I made myself very, very small to not be seen. I spent a lot of time out of the house, so I channeled into sports, always out for at least a Saturday at a meet or a game. You don't get home from school until later because you're at practice, so that kind of kept me out of eyesight of everybody. Complete transparency. Doing these videos is so hard for me. I worry about judgment. I worry about how I look. I worry about showing up. Like, this for me is a way to push me out of the comfort zone, to override my really, really, really loud inner judge, my inner critic. 2 seconds before this, I just stopped and looked at myself in the mirror and told myself to keep going and that I'm proud of myself, because I can get halfway through and just be like, nobody wants to listen to this. Think about who's gonna listen to this and be offended by what I say. And that's me trying to live my life and still living within that emotional system. I say it on my intro video, these videos are just as much for me as they are for everybody else, because me showing up and me doing this and me speaking my truth is me climbing out of this old pattern emotionally. Every day, we're battling old patterns. We're battling old beliefs that somebody convinced us were true. But we have to continue to remember that these are not our beliefs. These are someone else's. And this is a hurt person. This is a person that is not okay themselves, that has their own demons, that has their own issues, and they're only projecting that on us. And this is not to say, like, I'm not somebody who's like, find compassion for this person and love them. And I totally understand, like, hating them only hurts me. I don't know if maybe one day I'll get there, but like right now, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is understand that their beliefs are a reflection of themselves. Their beliefs are not a reflection of you. And as you're walking yourself out of their beliefs, continue to remind yourself, these are theirs. These are not mine. And it's uncovering what their beliefs are, because they piled them on so freaking high. And as we uncover, we start to realize who we are. And that's what this whole process is uncovering the layers of false beliefs that were put on us by somebody else that had no business doing that, and finding out who we are underneath, who we are as a person, who we are as a soul, as a being, because you were not born hating yourself. You were not born not believing in yourself, not believing you are good enough, not believing you are worthy. You were not born that way. That was learned. And it takes time and practice and effort to unlearn. But you're here watching this. You're here doing the work. As inconsistent or consistent or whatever you put on yourself that you're not doing it good enough, because I know I have that same voice in my head, you're on your way. You're aware, and that is all you need. So stop and give yourself a minute. You're doing it. And give yourself a big thank you, because this shit is not easy. Getting to a place where you're not living in this emotional state that no longer belongs to you means educating yourself. You can only do better once you know better. Read the books, learn different modalities, listen to the videos, surround yourself with people who are teaching you what should have been taught instead of the negativity. This is taking your power back. You are educating yourself, and you are taking your own power back as to what you want to integrate into your life. Grieve what you didn't receive. This is a hard one. And this whole process, but especially this one, is not something you do once. This is something you have to do over and over again. Something great for this: inner child meditation, journaling, therapy, friendship quality over quantity. Sometimes we can't always afford therapy. Shit is expensive. Having a really good friend who can listen to you, who can hear you out and hold a safe place for you to speak your voice and be heard and accepted by somebody is very helpful. If you don't have that, I have so many voice recordings where I just talk to myself. So just hear yourself saying it out loud. This is all part of the process. This is not an overnight quick fix. There's no pill to take. You have to go through this process. Finding happiness is a trap. Finding your way to your true, authentic self is the way to find contentment. Uncovering those layers of who you are not and finding out who you are under all of it. That is what will bring you a sense of true, authentic comfort within yourself. Some books that I will put in the link in the description below. Origins. I'm actually not reading it. I'm audiobooking it. This one as well. It was Becoming the One. We are so blessed to be in this time where so many people are going through this shift, where so many people are talking about this process is difficult, but it is not impossible. There is hope. You are worthy. You are enough. You did not deserve to be treated the way you were treated. We are survivors on our journey towards becoming thrivers. I want to help you get to a point in your life where you feel like you are thriving. Come along this journey with me of stretching our wings and stepping into the most authentic, bright version of ourselves. You have permission to do more than survive. Thank you for being here. This was a part where I paused and talked to myself, and I just said, I just want to tell you I love you and keep going, and you're doing amazing.